Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is your governor speaking.
Today's training evolution, dogfighting, taking on the corporate media.
The rules of engagement are as follows. Number 1, don't fire unless fired upon. But when they fire, you fire back with overwhelming force. Does it say that in the bill? I'm asking you to tell me what's in the bill. Number 2, never, ever back down from a fight.
If I could complete the question, though.
So you're going to give a speech or ask a question? Number 3, don't accept their narrative. It's wrong. It's a fake narrative. I just disabused you of the narrative, and you don't care about the facts. It's why people don't trust people like you, because you peddle false narratives. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's telephone.
Don't fire unless you're fired upon. And then once you're fired upon, do it with overwhelming force, because you're very intimidating when you say things like that. Ron DeSantis has a Top Gun ad out because he's a badass. As a matter of fact, if you put on a jacket and sunglasses and act like you're flying fighter jets, people might elect you into office, maybe even to the presidency, so that you can, everything you do has nothing to do with you wearing a fighter jacket and flying a plane that you're not flying. The point of this ad is nothing. It's to say I'm a badass, and that has something to do with politics, maybe the agenda, maybe your principles, maybe the way that you would legislate. Who cares? Let's just say you're a badass. It's not the first time that he's had ads like this, where then there's his son at the end. If you guys remember, one of the most, probably the first ad that put Ron DeSantis on the map also included his son. He was featured much more prominently though. You guys remember this?
Everyone knows my husband, Ron DeSantis, is endorsed by President Trump, but he's also an amazing dad. Ron loves playing with the kids.
Build the wall.
He reads stories.
Then Mr. Trump said, "You're fired." I love that part.
He's teaching Madison to talk.
Make America great again.
People say Ron's all Trump, but he is so much more.
Big league. So good.
I just thought you should know.
Ron DeSantis for governor.
Oh, that's so cute. Anyways, we've seen the kid go from that kid that's building blocks in Top Gun movies or Top Gun commercials as well. So there's his guy out there. By the way, this pattern of using his kid isn't the only thing, because now he's switching gears. He's got to make sure he's ready to take over. The master, Donald Trump, is apparently going down. So Ron DeSantis, I think, is starting to test the winds. He's like, it's time for me to step up and become that next Donald Trump. I want you guys to notice something here. As he's gaining what he thinks is some more political clout here, he's becoming more and more like Donald Trump. Specifically here in this clip, Dr. Fauci is planning to retire. And Dr. Fauci is a name that DeSantis definitely promoted himself off of when it came to COVID measures. And it's probably got him to the prominence that he is now. So he's not happy he's leaving. So you're gonna have a few parting shots for him in a very Trump-like style. Watch this.
You have people like Fauci saying that his lockdowns didn't cause any permanent damage to any young kids. I got news for you, it did, and we are gonna reap those rewards across the whole country for years and years and years because they treated kids so poorly. And I'm just sick of seeing him. I know he says he's gonna retire. Someone needs to grab that little elf and chuck him across the Potomac.
More principles, more agendas, more things you're gonna legislate on. Let's just chuck him across the Potomac. Now it's aggression, now it's we should do something to him physically. Cool, great. One last piece, Dan, because this is even from last year. The recount put this together and they're like, it seems like the transformation is damn near complete. Watch this last video.
Anybody here would do it.
Project to get
Judges are a priority.
And honestly, we have businesses that have been locked down and lives destroyed for over a year based to say
many ballots,
no COVID vaccine passports are made in China and shipped here. Why would we want so many important things
Can we take them?
to us be at the whim of China?
China. What's your thoughts, Dan? Is first off, maybe it's not a conscious thought process. Maybe he's like, he just hangs around him so much and watches everything he does. He just can't help it.
Yeah, it's like when you're an athlete and an actual athlete, like Ron DeSantis likes to cosplay, and you're watching tape and you just like need to know, okay, how does he do those moves? How do I get the hand gestures right? How do I get the China? How do I get the points down? The only thing I need to point out from that Top Gov Navy ad is that it runs, I think I'm not the first person to make this point, but it runs a little bit across the lines of stolen valor that he might want to be careful about, because yeah, sure, Ron DeSantis is in the Navy. as a lawyer. The most he's ever flown is a briefcase. The most overwhelming force he's fought back
in
with
the overhead compartment.
Yeah, the most in business class. The most overwhelming force he's ever used is by dropping a bunch of papers on his junior's desk, saying that he wants them reviewed by the next week. All right, so this whole tough guy persona that Ron DeSantis is trying to play with falls into the Donald Trump persona. That is the only thing more pathetic than Ron DeSantis slowly trying to become more like his daddy, Donald Trump, is Donald Trump Jr. also mimicking his dad's ways of speech and his personas and ways of moving around, like his daddy, Donald Trump. I'd love to see all three of them in a Trump off. Someone actually proposed the idea of Donald Trump Jr. and Ron DeSantis all being in the Republican primary together, and Donald Trump Sr. picking them all off one by one. Yeah, Donald Trump Jr., he still wets the bed. Ron DeSantis, he has his son read. He reads my books to his son. What a little baby. He's like my own little baby. He's so pathetic. He's actually a better son than Don Jr. It would be so wonderful. Fun to watch.
Another three-way fight that we may be better than the one that we even talked about a little bit earlier. Ron DeSantis is waiting. By the way, as far as with the student loans news that's happening, everybody's going crazy over that. No one's been talking about what's happening with Donald Trump's legal issues. And it's actually probably pretty good for the Justice Department to continue, because we go in these cycles and our Republicans are mad about something else, so they can't complain about that particular thing. We'll see where that goes. I think Ron might be seeing an opening, even though folks aren't talking about it. He sees some light. He's gonna dive through it.